Now, he might not be the #1 golfer in the world, but Tommy Fleetwood is red hot currently, and in my opinion, is the best player in the world. Well, a little drill he does that I'm going to work on and show you in today's video is going to transform your ball striking with all your clubs from the ground, but especially those pesky long irons that everybody seems to struggle with. So I think most golfers struggle with the long irons. I've got 4-iron in my hand here. Even though they know that they need to set up in a particular way, maybe ball just forward of centre and put that swing on it. But so often we don't get that solid strike and the kind of distances we should be getting from those long irons. Now that was obviously a really solid one with me with 4-iron, but if we look back at those numbers, there's some key things that we see with TrackMan that are essential to hit your long irons well from the ground. So my club head speed is just under 90 mile an hour, so everybody's will be a little different. But the fact that my low point is 2.8 inches after the ball, the club's travelled down 3 degrees, I've launched it at 12 degrees, ball speed is what it is because of club speed, but my carry at 195. Now, that's obviously great, but what I see far too often with golfers is they actually struggle getting any kind of contact with the ball because they set up from there, make a swing, and they're trying to help the ball in the air, and as a result, they thin it like that one. And even though I've got my low point ahead there, I missed the ground, it's launching too low, not getting in the air, and there's no carry. And I'm not saying from this video you're going to suddenly be putting 2 irons and 3 irons in the bag, but whatever your longest iron in the bag is, it's essential that you're able to strike the ball well from the ground. So I mentioned Tommy Fleetwood, and I love the fact that something he started doing as a drill actually progressed into his full game. And it was really a case that all the top players are fantastic at controlling their low point, but what they all do as well is they deliver less loft at impact than there is on the golf club. Whereas most golfers probably are delivering round about the same loft at impact as there is at address. So I've got 4-iron in my hand, but just to start the drill, I'm going to do it with a 7-iron because you'll find it a little bit easier with a touch more loft in your hand. And then I'll show you what we're going to change as we progress back into your long iron. So all we're going to do is we're going to do like a 3/4 backswing, shift our body towards the target, and then finish nice and low. So we do a couple of practice swings. And you'll see straight away when you do that, how we start touching the ground after the golf ball, but we'd definitely be getting a little bit deeper into the ground as well. So we're going to set up, make that swing. And even with a 7-iron there, I see 83 mile an hour, 3 inches ahead, clubs travelled down 3 degrees, and 167 yards carry. So we're going to do a couple more with 7-iron. So almost half to 3/4 backswing, shift the body towards the target, and then try and be aggressive on the downswing, but finishing short on the way through. And again, strike feels powerful, feels decent speed. Again, nearly 85 mile an hour club speed, 3.4 inches ahead, clubs travel down 4 degrees, and again, 170 carry. So let's go one last one with 7-iron. And again, strike felt nice and solid. And again, we see some good numbers with a very compact swing. And obviously when you watch Tommy with his full swing, he does get a little bit longer with the backswing, a little bit longer with the follow through. But it is incredibly noticeable that when he makes his full swing, you can see how the hands really stay away from the body. So at the top of the backswing, his hands are lovely and wide, short, a huge shoulder turn. Then that left hip kind of moves down and towards the target. Then as he starts moving that left hip back, the left leg straightens, he kind of compresses the golf ball and has a huge amount of width in the follow through, and then still has that slightly shorter finish. And it's such a powerful move to be able to set up there, feel shorter and wide, shift, And then if you can feel shorter and wider on the way through, like we saw, and we'll go one last 7-iron. Lovely solid strike. Launching around that 16.5 degrees. We see 4.3 inches ahead of the ball, after the ball, 4.8 degrees down and 168 carry. So, hope you're enjoying today's video. If you are and you'd love that opportunity to work with me online, drop me an email at info@alitaylorgolf.com. I've had a couple of spaces open up, but they will go very, very quickly. So if you'd love to work with me, drop me an email. I'll get back in touch. We'll see exactly what you want to get from your game and how I can help you get there. But for now, let's get back to seeing how we're going to hit those long irons better than ever before. I've said this is more about long irons, but I think even with those kind of mid to short irons, the quality of the strike, delivering less loft, I think you're already going to hit those further. But as you get into those longer irons, the key now is we want to do the same drill. So we're going to feel shorter back, shift and short through. But what we want to do is, we could see that last 7-iron for me, the low point was 4.3 inches ahead of the ball. The low point will be the deepest bit of the divot. So with a 4-iron, I don't necessarily want quite as much ahead and quite as much down. So I'm just going to move the ball slightly forward in my stance. But I'm going to do the same drill. So we're going to feel shorter and wider, shift, and then stop on the way through. And just get that nice solid strike to begin with. We see there, 87 mile an hour, 3.8 inches after, 4 degrees down, 121 ball speed, 172 carry. Now, even though I've moved the ball forward there, I've almost done that movement too well because I've kept too much loft off it, and that's why the carry's not really increased. But I don't mind that too much. If you're getting that lovely crisp strike, you'll also actually see whether the longest iron in your bag is doing a proper job, or whether you maybe need to get rid of that and put a more lofted fairway wood. Like Tommy's dropped 3-iron out of his bag and put a 9 wood in the bag, but still, you know, hits 4-iron great, as most of the top players do. But it might be that once you start striking it well, you appreciate that whatever your longest iron is needs to be replaced, but you can still do your end of the bargain correctly. So we're going to go one more, feeling shorter back, shift, and finish short. And that felt really good. So a little bit pushy, but you can see 87 mile an hour club speed, 2.8 inches after, 2.8 degrees down, and carrying 189. Now, interestingly there, when I do that little swing, which I'm sure on camera looks a little bit longer, I hit that nearly as far as when I make my full swing. But now what I want to do is allow a little bit more length on the way back, but I still want to feel nice and wide, still want that shift, and then once I'm coming through and I'm wide, I'm just going to let the follow through be a little bit longer and see if I can maintain the rest of the movement that I had so good in that little drill. So not quite as good a strike. So we see a little bit more club head speed, only fractionally. Still low point and angle of attack, nice. Launch angle really good. Ball speed down a bit because it wasn't quite out the middle, but 185 carry with that full swing. Now, this is kind of what Tommy noticed. Not ball striking perspective for him, but what he noticed is when he was doing the drill, he was actually taking a lot of shape off his shots because as he was coming into the golf ball, he was holding that club face really nicely and everything was very neutral. When he went to the longer follow through, he started noticing that he was releasing the club more and seeing more of a draw. And we can see there for me, the bigger swing didn't really see a lot of benefit in it. So again, I'm going to get that ball maybe even just a smidge further forward and go back to the Tommy Fleetwood swing. Strike feels so powerful. Great club head speed, low point after, club moving down, and 193 yards carry. So I started this video by kind of asking, would Tommy Fleetwood's drill and golf swing help you hit your long irons better? Well, possibly from this video, it's highlighted it maybe makes me hit my long irons even better as well. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, like it and share it. Get the stuff out there. The more people that share it and comment, YouTube will push it out there and more golfers will see and help them hit their long irons well. So remember, even if you move fantastically well, it's not always going to be the case that the longest iron in your bag does the best job, but at least if you're swinging and striking the ball correctly, you can put clubs in your bag that produce the kind of shots you want and ultimately help you play better golf.